Good afternoon. I'm here with Tom Mitchell, candidate for Blue Valley School Board. On behalf of the Johnson County Public Policy Council, thank you, Tom, for being here today.
Most welcome.
The Johnson County Public Policy Council is made up of 10 chambers of commerce in Johnson County. Our goal is to provide information about public policy issues impacting area businesses. You ready to get started?
I am ready. Thank you.
So, as a candidate, what are your top 3 policy issues?
I think, obviously as a school board member, policy is one of the most important things that we do. I think a lot of folks will mention policy firsthand, but I think the trickle down goes far, far beyond that. I think some of the policies associated with emotional health and well-being of our kids these days is huge, whether it's vaping or some of the things that we're dealing with suicide, just that overall all means all Blue Valley MO that we're dealing with lately. I think obviously the policies in regards to certain things that we're implementing through the district with our strategic plan or the way we're working with Topeka on legislative items as well are top of that list. And tying into the legislative thing, I think the way our board works with our community and also our legislators to continue to move into a positive direction in regards to funding and how our policies are associated with some of those would be my top 3. So again, I think you always got to talk about the kids first and foremost. I think we're in interesting times away with our social and emotional issues that a lot of kids are having these days. I think that's going to be first and foremost, tying into our all means all, our strategic plan, and then also our current funding and the direction that headed. Again, we have tons of policies, but a lot of these are intertwined with some of these 3 things that I mentioned there.
The Kansas Supreme Court recently ruled that the current school funding formula is both equitable and adequate. However, the court retained jurisdiction over the case to assure the funding is maintained. Briefly, what are your thoughts on the new formula and the additional dollars that have been added to the funding formula?
Yeah, my thoughts are positive. I think the Supreme Court decision and ruling that it was adequate is obviously a step in the right direction, and I appreciate all the hard work that all the folks did in Topeka. I appreciate all the champions here in Johnson County and specifically Blue Valley for what they've done to create that. So we're obviously headed in the right direction, especially with things that are going on. Things get more expensive these days. We have a huge strategic plan we're rolling out, so I think to achieve most of those, having this good news over the past year is definitely beneficial. So I think we're 100% headed in the right direction, and it's much appreciated. We're in much better shape than we were several years ago. Some people are doing some good work. The key now will be not taking a step back or things heading in non-positive. I think Blue Valley does a lot of great things. The excellence beyond education is part of it, but I think there's a level beyond that where you could just excel past that good to great type mode, and I think to achieve that you could have certain dollars as well. Blue Valley is very, I think, frugal when it comes to financing. I think we do a lot of things correctly. I've been involved in a lot of things. I haven't seen a group as buttoned up as Blue Valley in regards to financing and putting money in the right places, and I know we have a lot of eyes on us. So this funding formula and the way we've quote-unquote fixed it over the past year or so is definitely beneficial and heading in the right direction. Hope it continues.
And along with the ruling by the Supreme Court that the funding formula and the related funding are constitutional, it's likely the legislature will look closely at accountability measures for student performance. Tell us a little bit about the accountability measures you support and that you believe are reflective of student achievement.
Yeah, I think, and this is indirectly related to that question, I talk about this all the time, the power of our schools when it comes to economic development. People want to live here, people want to raise their families here, businesses want to be here. So if we're providing that education, if you will, and those quality schools, we will know it. When we quit doing that and don't have the right leadership in place or the right teachers, those things suffer. And so does that economic development trickle down, if you will. And so I think proving that we continue to excel at Blue Valley with graduation rates, with high-performing test scores, with my all means all items that I talked about before, will help create that. I think if you really study Blue Valley from our leadership on down to the way we run it financially, as I mentioned before, I think people will see great use of those funds. But, the proof's in the pudding. Again, as soon as our schools suffer here a little bit or we take our, foot off the gas pedal and some of these things go away or we're not taking, making good use of the funds, we're not providing some of the things that we're outlining in our strategic plan is when we get ourselves in a problem as a community as a whole. People want a great quality of life, and schools are at the backbone, top of the period of that to provide that period.
Kansas is experiencing all-time low unemployment rates, and employers are struggling to find qualified workers, especially in the technical and skilled trades. How do you see the Blue Valley School District helping to meet our business community's future workforce needs?
You know, great question. I talk about this a lot, as do my fellow school board members. I think Blue Valley does an incredible job with kids at the top. You know, the perfect ACT scores and the National Merit semifinalists and just AP and just an incredible job. I think we also do an incredible job at the folks at the bottom, whether they're special needs or have learning disabilities, if you will. And our kids do a great job in the middle, but I think we can enhance that a little bit with our kids in the middle, making sure we're paying a close enough attention to them. Not that there's anything wrong, but I think the middle part is crucial to the success these days of some of that. And with those folks in the middle, and it could be anywhere, we have to realize our folks don't all want to go to four-year colleges as well. Some want to get involved in the career techno aspects. Some want to go to Johnson County Community College and participate in some programs like that. So I think it's really, really important that we do that. So we have partnerships with Johnson County Community College going on right now. We're about to run a bond referendum in January, and it includes about a $10 million career and technical education center. So times are changing. We know kids want this. We want to be able to provide those for the kids that do not want to go to college. So I think this is a great moment for Blue Valley to do that. We used to send our kids to Olathe School District and pay them to be involved in certain aspects. Now with our tie into the community college and also this program, not only the building that could be built if we pass the bond, but also the program that we're going or enhancing or putting into Blue Valley will take care of some of that. But I think there's a lot of kids out there that want to maybe do something different, and we got to take care of them as well.
And other than funding, what do you see as the greatest challenge facing the district?
Yeah, and I think funding is headed in the right direction. That'll always be a topic. I think we got to make sure Blue Valley continues to do some things that we've always done. I always say, you know, we're not as cool as we think we are. We can't look in the rearview mirror. You know, test scores are great. Life is pretty good, but again, there's something probably beyond that, and I definitely don't want to take a step back. And I think you tie it into the world these days, all the social stuff and the vaping and the cell phones and the social media and some of the suicide things that are going on and our 0 reasons why that we're working on with all the other districts. These are interesting times for our kids, and so I worry about it. My fellow board members worry about it. Our administration, our teachers, and all our folks worry about it. How do we best educate these kids these days? And with that comes some changes. You got to pivot in certain areas. You got to provide social workers to the schools, which we have done. You got to be cognizant of the kids in the middle. You got to keep a little closer grip on things that we're doing these days to, again, not take that step back. We want people to live here. We want people to come to our schools. We want businesses to be here, and we want the Blue Valley School District to not only be the best in the area, but to be the best in the country. And so to do that, you've got to take care of a lot of the little things these days.
Well, Tom, as we wrap up, tell us why you're seeking public office.
You know, I've lived in this community my entire life, since been here at about age 4. I'm an Overland Park lifer, if you will. My number one passion, obviously, is the kids, and I have 3 kids that are either 1 graduated from Blue Valley schools and 2 that are currently in Blue Valley schools, so I'm obviously passionate for my family. And again, like I stated before, I'm just a big quality of life person, if you will. I think we got a great community. I think schools, again, are the backbone of that, and if those start to disappear a little bit or don't continue to be excellent, then we'll get ourselves in trouble. So I'm driven by that. I want Overland Park to continue to thrive. I want our district to continue to thrive. I want people to really want to live here. I want more businesses to come, and I know that falls into the whole Chamber of Commerce. But just kind of built that way, so tying that in, the economic development portion, to just the kids, to just a natural thoughts on being our district being really good at things, just drives me to be on this school board.
Well, Tom, we thank you for spending some time with us today, and we wish you the best of luck with the election.
I appreciate it. Thank you.